Okay, we are live on. We are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another impactful episode number 69, a repeat episode number 69 with me and my lovely guest Shrantuni Moon today. Hi, Shrantuni. How are you?
Hello, Amit. It's so nice to have you back.
Yes, absolutely. So it started, we were like on a two, I was like on a 2.5 week break because what happened last time when we met, we had some technical glitches and we tried experimenting. It says you got to innovate when shit happens, you tend to innovate. So I tried to do that. I actually went on to Google Drive and started searching Meet Google and putting did the show there and I shared the screen here, but unfortunately the show went on mute mode. And to my amazement, all my lovely guests, they pinged me on WhatsApp, on many places. They were there for some time. Of course, they dropped off, but me and Shrantuni enjoyed an hour long of conversation. Now, with that, I thought, it's a great opportunity to bring her back because I had some lovely discussions that day. And to ensure that, everyone gets the impact that I'm trying to create, I thought, we'll bring her back. So there we are. And for last 2 to 3 weeks, I also had some family related issues and hence I was on break. So now I'm back and now let's welcome her again and let me introduce her quickly. So she's an engineer who's turned saint. She's a Bharatnatyam dancer, speaker, and she's currently a life coach who trains people to realize their soul's calling. So today, she's going to share a lot of things on what exactly happened when she was an engineer, why she turned into a saint, how did she do it, and what exactly she helps people with. All right. With that, let's welcome her again. Shrantani, we had some lovely chat last time. Honestly, it's very hard to remember every word of it. So it's a good opportunity now to, just go through it again. And, I'm sure there will be new areas that we're going to focus on. So let's talk about what engineering you did, from where and which part of the country you're in.
Okay, so I did my computer science engineering from Maharashtra, and it was a lovely time doing engineering. So, okay, so to express engineering, it is I cannot talk for people who do their engineering from their houses. Like I stayed in a hostel, so it's like a whole different vibe there. I think when you enter an engineering, you have a personality of yours, a thought process of yours. But when you enter into engineering, you get to know yourself even better, because there will be subjects and there will be times when you will feel that you're so much more like everyone else, but still there is something that differentiates you from everyone else. So that is an interest, and you'll always find that people who have certain kind of direction during their engineering process will even in their later parts of their lives, they will show certain, if they don't stress themselves out of to act like everyone else, you'll find that people who show certain take even a little bit effort in making a difference in their life during that time, because parental interference is not a lot, especially during those 4 years. So that is like the best time to experiment with all that you are. And if and for from my experience, all the people who have done even a little bit of change in their you know work habits or health habits, they have shown a lot of change even during the later parts of their lives.
Wow. Wow. So you got into engineering, and you said you were in the hostel side, right? How was your life?
So when when I entered my engineering in a hostel, I was very clear with the idea that uh, you know I want this, and I'm going to have this routine. I'm a very strict person like that with my, like, not now, but that time it was like a whole new thing. If I say that I'm going to breakfast at 7 a.m., that means I have to be there. Nobody can come in my way to stop me. And that was funny because you see, uh, like I think this is like a characteristic. You'll find people like these who are very focused. When they say something that I want to do, means I want to do it, even if like the tiniest of things. That is a lot of arrogance, but at the same time, it is also a characteristic behavior of people who are high in fire element in their bodies. So I was like that initially, but during the later years, like I think after the first year, I worked really really hard and did all that was there. But after that, when I slowed down a bit, everything changed, like things got even better. So I was like, okay, thoda maza karne se, if things can get better, then let me just do that. Let me do everything that I enjoy doing and not force myself to follow one success formula or one happiness formula. And yeah, I did that. I did all kinds of things that I wouldn't do before my graduation started. Like, we would have these parties in our hostel itself, and we would organize functions and go to different cities and towns to participate in different kinds of competitions, so and talk to new people and have new experiences. It was fun.
Nice, nice. So when you said, like, there are people who are, so they're like disciplinaries, they're very strict on themselves and discipline. So is there, like, I just want to understand, because discipline is very very challenging aspect of life. It's not easy to maintain it, right? So was it something that you liked being disciplined, or was it the results that helped you with, or was it just a nature?
So uh, it is so difficult to differentiate a lifestyle that you have lived all your life from your personality. I think
Hmm.
my biggest learning during this life coaching was also to be completely aware and present in the moment. See, there is a difference between being disciplined and being someone who is proper. Okay, let's put it that way. So when I say discipline, when I used to say discipline, I had this notion in my mind that only one kind of people win, and I wanted to win. So so there is only one road to it. So I have to do everything that is asked of me to do. And
Hmm.
that is there. But of course there is a personality trait in it, which is that of being always on the run, to enjoy working and experimenting. Like even in my college schedule, it always used to be booked. Like I remember there were times when I would give my friends, okay, like I'm free at 5 p.m, so 5 to 6 you meet, then I'll go to this. So I love working and doing all of these things. But that is one thing, like that is to have fun with your work. And one is strict disciplinarian, which means to always have one notion of right and wrong. Like there is a right way to life and there is a wrong, which is that is not something which can be helpful to anyone. But if you say like discipline, a lot of people mean to have like a proper balance between all kinds of things that they have in life. So yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I think what you mentioned, I think it's more importantly for you that you managed your time well, and then you also had a goal in the head that you have to achieve. And
Yeah.
that when you chuck it down into your hours, so basically you landed up with a good set of system in a way.
Yeah. So,
Hmm.
yeah, like, see, even like if we enter a meeting, okay,
Hmm.
or if we enter any dynamics, like say, like post making, like reels making, video making, anything you take, if we become disciplinarian, like someone who is very strict about the details of how it should be done, then it is difficult to bring out creativity within from yourself as well as from others as well.
True.
So, and it is so easy to go down that road when you say like because I like to like arrange my things and have them properly. It is always a very conscious choice to stay in the moment and not put your past information on current reality. So yeah, that is an important aspect of it.
Yeah, no, I can imagine because, like, though I'm, it's like neatness and over killing yourself when it comes to arranging things in a certain manner. I think that
Yeah.
it's like a sort of a disease as well. Like my son has it, so he'll go into grocery stores and he'll arrange the pretty packets there if they are just misaligned, so that the what do you call the angles and the lines, if it's like stacked in the vertical, he'll make sure that everything is in a vertical. And I know that's a scientific thing word to that problem.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
and yeah, like people, like I can completely relate with your like child because for us it is like it is not like they'll do in every section of their life, but in certain areas they are very strict.
yeah,
And for us, it is like okay, these are groceries; they can be like that. But for them, it is like something starts happening within you when
yeah,
things are not properly arranged like that.
exactly. The uneasiness kicks in.
Yeah.
And I always feel that उसको उधर job दिला देते हैं, at least he'll earn some money money while arranging groceries. But anyways, now let's move on. So now tell me, why did you decide to leave? Like you finished your engineering, right? And then I know you also got into some job. Why did you left everything in that sense?
So, okay, so it was actually a very pretty choice, easy choice actually. So I had like 5 jobs, and everyone in my college was so happy with me. My friends, my warden, my TNP officer, everybody was like, yes. But when I left it, they were like, why is she doing it? Is she like, it was very scary for them to even imagine like to do something like that. But for me, it was easy because I have seen myself not enjoy practicals. Like even if I learn theory, like I was good with the theory part, I would make stories with the theory that was given. And I like even though we were talking about machines and buses, like in CPU there are buses and stuff, right? So even when we would be talking like about those, I would make them very humanistic or something like that. So every concept was human related for me. So and I would give special aspects and behavior to every microprocessor that we're talking about or anything. So I just felt like if it it was easier for me to just go in that direction rather than imagine something what it is not and make it like that.
Wow. So what that direction landed up to be?
So it wasn't clear like what I wanted. And so after engineering, I started like experimenting with different concepts. When I got all of these jobs, I thought maybe I was just good with speaking. And I had like a bit of a history with being a speaker. So I thought maybe I'm just like a good speaker. So then I started experimenting, talking to different people. Like on I would do this experiment wherein I would apply for jobs, and I would talk to them and all of that, not with an intention to get a job but to understand what is going on in the market and stuff. And then I was also working with a friend of mine on an idea. I was also preparing for MBA. And yeah, so all in all, it was like I was like doing all of this ki acha ye try karke. But it never crossed my mind ki I would do something like life coaching. Uh, my friends always saw that inclination of mine towards that direction, because even in my college I would organize shows for youth empowerment and for drug addicts, like outside my campus and stuff. So every year I would organize these kinds of shows for people in and outside my campus. And and my friends would say, ye baba banegi, ye baba banegi. So yeah, they saw it, but I never felt कि ऐसा कोई profession होता भी है, or you know, because you don't find people like this around you who would talk about these ideas. So I just started doing it. And after a while, when I started preparing for MBA, that was interesting because you see, we all have like a different kind of aptitude. And when so for first 1 or 2 years, I when I prepared, it was very difficult because I was preparing for every way that I was told was the right way. Like I was applying every pattern that they said was the right pattern to it, but I wouldn't get the result. So for the first 2 years I did that, and for the next year what I did was I started learning more into psychology, neuroscience, spirituality, and applying those concepts in my education. And then it got easy. I started scoring really good, 98 percentile, 96 percentile in all exams. And I said, wow, like I did everything they said me to do, and I wouldn't get it. And now when I was preparing, for the next year, when I was applying all of these concepts, it wasn't that I was studying more or anything. I was even having little more fun than usual. I would relax more, and still I would get good marks. So I said, this is if this can inspire me, that can inspire anybody. So that was the moment I said, let's just start making this a concept and let's start spreading it everywhere.
You finished your MBA, right?
No, no, I did not. I just said, let's just start doing it. Let's just start talking about this in
Wow.
any way possible, because it was so inspiring. And, I remember I was giving the exam and I got the marks and stuff. And my dad was like, okay, let's join. And I was like, पता नहीं है, मतलब मुझे लग रहा है कि ये ठीक नहीं है करके, because you know I had also started writing about this concept on LinkedIn and
Hmm.
Medium. So one of my articles on Medium got like on number one listing on Google. So I was
Wow.
like, wow. But क्या हो रहा था उस टाइम पे भी, like I wasn't fully committed to it. I was just like write some stuff here and there and just think about it कि यार कितना सही होगा अगर सबको पता चल गया that if we all could just do what we like to do and not feel it as a time pass or something, it would just change all of our lives. So I said to my dad, you know what, let me just try it out and let's see what happens.
Wow. Interesting. Interesting. Now let's jump into this area, okay, of life coaching, and so define what exactly life coaching means.
All right. So there are different kinds, but what I work in, that I would talk about. So I work in soul purpose, soul's calling. So what it means is that we all have a personality, we all have a background, genetics, and that all plays into our personality, like that makes up who we are. A person picking up a jacket or cooking or making a meal for themselves, everything that a person does is carrying their personality with themselves. Now, this has a natural inclination towards something that is already there on this planet. Like, for example, a person from computers, let's say, if a person is a really good coder, they naturally have certain sort of inclination toward mathematics or calculating stuff, or sitting in the corner and just not so much interested in what others are feeling or all of that, but in one's own, like, trying to segment things, in organizing things. There is this kind of patterning that happens in brain. One Anyone can do this experiment with themselves also. So when you go to a club, or you meet certain people, what is the first thing that you do? What are you thinking? We all have different intention when we enter any place. ठीक है, आप खाना बनाने जाओ, सबकी प्रायोर, so there is this one whole list of things that happen. So if we can just slow down and have a look into that, it is easy to figure out what this person wants. If you even ask people to close their eyes and imagine their bestest kind of life, they may not be able to give a right, like, one word to that profession, but they would say something around that profession. So if we just start focusing in that, rather than seeing the market and saying ki, where do I fit in, let's start saying that I am this person, and where does market can enter my system, you know where can market adjust to me rather than I adjusting to the market. So that is what I do. So the first,
Interesting.
yeah, so that is one. Then we detox the person from all the societal and the family patternings that are there of what you should be rather than what you want to be. And yeah, it's like for example, you see every singer, every person who likes singing has a good voice. So that is already there in your system. It's just we never relax ourselves enough to see what we truly want.
So so let's say, for example, if there's a person, or let's say if I am doing something, uh but it's, see, there are two things or three things, right? One is that my day-to-day behavior or my life would actually talk something about me, but the other would be that I could be faking it as well, because world wants me to be something else. That's why I'm trying to behave something else. Like, for example, I don't want to wear this bloody suit right now. All right. It's just because, oh my god, I started it with like this, and now I can't just sit with my guest in a t-shirt without a collar. All right.
Yeah.
Let's say if I want to be shaved, I want to have that weird look of mine. So, but the thing is that how do you, so that is what you take care in detoxing. Is it clear? Is that
Hmm.
correct?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Right.
Now,
Right.
if I tell you, let's take an example of Mayur, right? You met Mayur some time back. He's there presently at the back curtains, by the way, for all the guests. So if we need to understand his personality, or if we want to help him out to understand what he wants to do, because
Hmm.
he's very young at his age and
Hmm.
it's good for him to do it, what are the
Hmm.
steps that he you would suggest he would take?
All right. So first is, okay, there are two ways to figure out what you want. Okay, either you get a coach,
Hmm.
or then second is you just start reading a lot. Acha. Okay, so I'll go into a little more of like information side. Okay, so I'll explain little bit. Okay,
Sure. Sure.
so every person has three kinds of doshas, right? In Ayurveda, we have doshas. So I was just, so that's what I wanted to say. Ki, is it okay? Like I talk about like in
Please go
detail
on.
about
Explain. Explain as much as you want to, please.
all right. So we have doshas, right? So every person has doshas. What are these doshas? Is like, it is vat, pith, and kapha. What it means is Vata is air energy, airy headed people who will have a lot of ideas. But it is difficult for these people to calm down and sit at one place and execute those ideas, like write them down or make a concrete plan about it. Then we have Vat, then we have Pith, which is fire energy. These are people who work a lot. Like me, like they like to have a busy schedule and like to work. And the third is Kapha. Kapha is the earth energy. These are the people who are calm and soothing and rooted. So, okay, now this is one part of it. Okay. Then we have like this, think about all the problems that you have gone through in your life. So, देखिए, it is not necessary that we face big issues in our lives. Whatever that hit you hard, it might be something even minor. Why did that hit you? And how did you get ahead of it? To understand what skills you used during that time, mentally or physically, that is one way. Okay, so you have to like start adding all of these things, है ना? Like let's say someone is, and okay, when I said dosha, everyone has one or two dominant doshas. Like someone
Hmm.
could be vat, which is airy headed, and at the same time they're pith. Okay, but they might have a not so active kapha element. So what does, that is, these people will have a lot of ideas, they'll work on a lot of things, and then they'll start getting exhausted
Yeah,
because they
like,
don't have that kapha energy. Yeah.
yeah. I think I was gonna ask you that, can a person has both? Because I think I have both.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's no
So,
earth element in my, yeah.
but see, we all have it. It's just that some part of it is more active, some
Hmm.
of them is a little less active. But it's important that all of them are in balance. Only then we reach to the destination. Okay, now this is one part of it. Then we ask, what are the problems you faced? How did you
Hmm.
overcome it? It's then also think about like what are the daily issues that you face? है ना? Some of it you might not even be directly involved. Like you might have a neighbor who shouts a lot. Now you cannot do anything about it. So you have to look into all of these little issues that are there. Okay. Then how do you use your, then what goes in your mind when that thing happens? Okay. And the last is, which is easy, and a lot of people can do this, is close your eyes, take pranic breath, take deep breaths, sigh out of the mouth, relax yourself enough, and then start, you know, uh, not focusing on anything. Like, there are different kinds of meditation, but
Hmm.
this is like to completely calm yourself down, not to have any point of focus, just air, like nothing. And after that, you'll start. See, what in spirituality, there is this saying which says that when you, like a child, will naturally move towards something that they like. So a little child will start dancing and will sing, or will play with something. Why that happen is a child's ego is not that active. During meditation also we try to achieve that, is get our ego quiet. Okay. And then you'll start you will start coming into that state of presence, and you'll start starting getting that inclination towards the things that you want. So, and then there is all other kinds of science of manifestors and generators, and the doshas and pittas and kaphas. So there goes like a whole lot of questioning when we treat a person's soul's purpose. But a lot of times, what we do is we start with the meditations of like the kinds of problem people face in their daily lives. something that they are still going on. We work on it, and then they themselves start talking about what they want. We never have to tell them, oh, now you are going to be a doctor. No, that is not how it happens. Is we tell them how to quieten their ego mind and get themselves out of the way of what they want. Like, a lot of people have these notions, right? he this is how to become successful, this is how one should look when they have to become successful. We allow people to step out of that zone and then just go with the flow. Then they themselves start coming up with answers like, I had this intuition that maybe I should try, maybe I should call this person and talk to them about this idea. They talk to them, and then something even greater comes up. They come in association with someone else, and then they start getting in connection with their profession. So it's very, and it's always a new, even though the system is same, but the way it happens is new every single time with every other client.
Wow, wow. And just for one thing, so my wait, where is that? So that's my father-in-law. Dad says thumbs up. Thanks, Dad.
Hello, hello.
So no, that's really interesting because it's one of the aspects is to understand those dashas, or is it doshas or dashas?
Dosha,
I'm sorry,
dosha, dosha,
do, right?
dosha. Yeah, Dio.
Yeah, okay. So one is that you understand that, and second is, of course, then you figure out your people who are pain in your ass all the time, and or the situations, write it down and probably work towards it. Now, if I always, I'm a big believer in having a mentors and a coaches, okay, because it takes up of so much of load in a way, because then you have a guided way of functioning forward. But let's say if somebody, because not everyone is so inclined to do it, okay, unless it is like, not everyone is inclined, let me just put it that way. So if there, you said the other option is reading, right?
Hmm.
So is there any one or two particular books that you think in your mind that can at least give a basic introduction or would help person to understand themselves better?
Okay, so it depends on what you are going through. See, okay, when you are very, very happy, you
Hmm.
won't want to inquire more. A lot of people, they come in this direction when they have some questions, some calling, something that is like, I cannot take this anymore. I want to move ahead from this. Okay. So I
Oh.
think the best way to figure out a book is to see ki what is the problem that I'm facing right now. Let's say if a person has a backlog, ठीक है ना, engineering में है backlog है,
Hmm.
and if at that time you read anything else na, you will after a point forget it because you cannot apply it. ठीक है, तो what you do is see कि what is it that I am looking out for, है ना, say in plain words, एंड देन सी कि मैं इस डायरेक्शन में किसी से बात कर सकता हूँ, कोई बुक ले सकता हूँ, एंड देन स्टार्ट इन दैट मैनर. Why is, see, a lot of times these motivation books or all of these do not work for certain people is because they cannot see that result in their regular life. And
Hmm.
when we say life coaching, what we are saying is कि हमारी in our daily lives will be able to experience it, है ना? So there's also one more thing. Sometimes when we read a lot of books, we get this illusion that our ego loves to believe that no, oh, now I am comfortable, I am okay, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what book you are reading. All that it matters is whatever you read, even if you read one line, apply it twice in your regular life. Only then that will get infused in your blood and you will never forget, and it will solve your problem. Because words that will go off, है ना, that will wash off, but what you experience will never go. Okay,
True.
so like if you have like relationship issue, that is also a lot of times people have problem in one areas of their life, and they say, like for example, people might have issue with some colleague of theirs, and then they'll come home and say, "Arey, my kids are not performing well in school," है ना? So first identify what is your issue, and then see ki how do I, when you have like a certain issue now, like something that is pinching you a lot and you want to get your mind off it, there are two ways. Either you go pivot into it and research it, or you take your attention completely off it and let that problem just be there. Eventually it will sort itself out. When you sometimes get away from that problem, it doesn't become a problem in itself.
Hmm. Interesting. No, interesting way of thought about the problem as well. So just before that, Swati, one of our guests, Swati said true to your topic where you're just talking about the books and how to handle things across. And I think I agree on the books part as well to a certain extent, is that read, because there have been this big thing that, oh, Bill Gates reads 50 books a year or 100 books a year, and Oprah reads blah 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 and yeah and whoa. I did that experiment like 5 years ago, for 52 books a year. I couldn't manage. It's not bloody easy. But I still managed to get close to 27 or so. But
That's
then I
amazing.
also, yeah, but then I realized that, I know so many things in my head, but then, like you said, I didn't get time to implement them. And now it's just knowledge lying around in my head. And to the worst part is it's bothering me. Okay.
Yeah,
It's not like,
yeah,
because I'm like a junior Google now, but of
yeah.
no use to myself.
I
Uh,
I I went through the same situation a couple of years back. I had to do this thing that I had to pack my books up and never want to see them again, because there is always a tendency to grab one and start reading.
Yeah, yeah. No, I am still a very addicted of books, but at least now I have a certain limit. I only pick up what I want. I try to, and also just be very very knowledgeable that, okay, you know what, ये पढ़ना है, ट्राई करता हूँ इम्प्लीमेंट करने, नहीं हुआ तो आई ड्रॉप द बुक एंड गो फॉर
Yeah,
समथिंग
yeah,
एल्स. But at
exactly.
least not be like one of my mentor told me, what kitabi kida, no, not kitabi kida, there's a word, I forgot. If I remember, I'll say. But yeah, that's the problem. But that's a good point. That's a really good point. But so yeah, let's move on. So now, if somebody comes to you, so I think you also help students as well, right? At a
I do.
school college level, correct?
College. Yeah.
Managerial level. How, what do you do there?
So, what we do is we connect with either the student body or mostly with the TNPs. So, from first year to final
Sorry,
year students,
what is TNB?
trainee and placement officer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just to make sure
Yeah,
that everyone I didn't
yeah, yeah,
understood.
yeah.
Sorry to
So
cut.
yeah, so we connect with them, and from first to final year students, we have a 3 day course which is crafting career niche. It is similar as understanding one's soul's calling, but what we do is a lot of my students, all of my students are from engineering background, but it is for anyone, even for the teachers or any age group. So what we do is on the first day we teach students on the science behind how to identify your soul's purpose. Second day we detox them, and on the third day we teach them how to attract opportunities and have manifest their dreams and how to have all of that which they dream of. Yeah.
Wow. So let's say if you have an individual coming to you,
Hmm.
how would you coach that person? And like, I know it will definitely depend upon the person how long you'll do it, but
Yeah.
still, what do you see a general change happening in what time? The even the basic of the changes.
Like on one-on-one client.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, for one on one client, it's a very a personal matter for me. So, what we what I try to do is I do not want to apply a certain mechanism when it comes to one client. Uh, for students in this like engineering background, we have like set games and set procedures that we ask them to do, and it works out perfectly in that environment because that climate is such, when you do things in a group, it affects everyone, you know. So but in one-on-one client, we first start like, as I mentioned, start with what is pinching you the most, and then start pivoted down to what is the basis of it. All of that finds its root in somewhere in the childhood,
Hmm.
something that didn't work out, some hurt, some guilt, you know. So we work into that. See, humans are like such fun people. Like humans are people, okay. Humans are such fun creations, you know. A person could be a completely fool in one area and a total genius in other area. And it isn't that, and to take one aspect and say, oh, they are great or they are small or they're big or they're smart is wrong. You have to take every human as experiment in themselves and just start seeing ki, okay, what is coming out more. A lot of people will have, some people will have more regarding disappointments, hurt, lack of feeling not seen or heard, है ना? So whatever that main feeling is coming, we then create certain meditations in that area, है ना? Whatever kind of problem that individual is facing, we start
Hmm.
with few easy meditations, and we make sure that that person is enjoying the process, one, and second is that every day they are experiencing something that they have learned. Like once I take a session, and then, and okay, one more thing, I never prepare for the sessions. I i never think ki, acha, I have to go and teach them this, or this is the problem and this is the solution I'm going to tell. That is not that is going to happen. All we go is we sit with them. Hi, how are you? Do you want to say something? That is the first question. If they say something, then we move ahead with that. And if they do not say something, you ask them a little more questions, and then you move, or whatever I feel like. Sometimes you're sitting with someone and you get an intuitive download, like this is something that this person needs to hear, and then you start saying in that concept, and they say, oh, this is what I was thinking this morning, I didn't have the words to express it. So with one-on-one client, I think you get to see the beauty of a human very closely, because they'll come with their experiences every day and tell you, oh, this happened, that happened, something that couldn't be changed like for years suddenly started to shift people, situation. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think I never look at this work as something that I have to work. I look at this as a fun experiment every single day. And I'm also like hearing from every person that I'm meeting.
Of course. No, no, of course. That's the beauty part. Now, but do people come to you like personally? Like, would life coaching also take care of problems with career, family, and finance and other aspects? It's part of life, right?
Yeah,
So it would cover all those aspects areas as well
yeah.
in a way.
Oh yeah. See, so there's a saying in Hindi which says that "Yat pindam tat brahmandam," which means that what's there in the atom, what's there in the cell,
Hmm.
what's there in the atom is there in the universe itself. Okay,
Hmm.
so every human is like the world in itself. So careers, finance, relationship, even though they might have like a big market in themselves, like a health is a whole market in itself, है ना? But a health is also a very individual thing. So whatever you are, there'll be more like you, and you are still someone who is completely new. So so that is like the fun game that happens. Yes, definitely. Life coaching will take care of everything because it will teach you how to take care of yourself and not trouble yourself with unnecessary stuff. So when you let a person relax into that knowing, they'll naturally cover everything else. So you do not have to specifically like tell them ki go to this YouTube video, go and watch this, go and read this book, and go and attend this seminar, or research on this concept when they are, in that frame of mind where they are relaxed enough. They'll find answers to their problems themselves. You don't have to go and poke into every problem. All you have to look into is what is the overall aura of this person, what is the feel that you get from this person. You fix that, you work in that, they'll manage everything else by themselves.
No, that's true. I think that is. I think it's. I understand that a bit because uh, every person has, like you said, when they're happy, all of a sudden everything just falls in place. सब ठीक चल रहा है, ideas आ जाते हैं. And when you're stressed or overstressed or you just can't figure out things, then every basic thing also turns out to be like a nightmare. So I think once you fix that whole vibe of a person, the aura of a person in a certain manner, probably their senses and all the other things start working the way they should be. Like those three doshas, right? So they get into sync and other things happen. So that's pretty true. I think the difficult part is to maintain it. That's the big challenge. So tell me about this. Like, how do you, like, once a person comes to you, and
Hmm.
let's say they get fixed in a certain manner, right? Now, how do they sustain? Because is there a way they're gonna be off the wagon again?
Yeah,
Fall
yeah.
off.
So, okay. What you're saying is life. This
Hmm.
is life. To go in and out of your divinity, of your knowing, of your consciousness, of your awareness is life. To see, but okay, always remember that you are never far away from your path. Like you can never be ever so far away from your inclination or your love uh, or your inner calling, that you cannot get back to it. Okay, that is the first thing to remember, that no matter how chaotic things outside or in your mind got, you can always come back. There is always that possibility. One. Second is, I think being aware of what you are feeling is the most important thing. Even a person who might be doing all of this on a regular basis will also experience different changes every single day. And to say that no, I want, again, to say that I want things in a correct manner, like मुझे हमेशा ऐसे ही चाहिए, is again the ego interference of saying I do not want to go anywhere else. I do not want to fall off this because I might be unsafe. I might make wrong decisions. But whatever we have talked up until now, it wouldn't have been possible if I wouldn't have gone in and out of my consciousness, of my awareness, or any of the guests who come. They go through certain situations, and they go through these up and downs and have these different lessons because something was not so much aligned, and it took a little bit of time to get back on the process. A lot of times even the things that we face are not so much of an issue, but the interpretation of it is an issue, है ना? So what, you are never happy or sad, you are just in relative happy or sad. Means, so there is one perfect situation in your head, and if that is not the situation of yours, then you're sad. So there is no such situation like I am not getting an idea does not mean that I need to be sad. I I can give it a little bit of a time and it'll come to me. But I feel no, I should have it right now. And that is when the ego kicks in. Oh, I don't have it
Yeah.
right now. That means there
Yeah.
is something issue with me. That means this is happening. And that's why when the more books we read, more mad that person gets. Because the ego is like, okay, I know this, I know this, I know this. Why is it not happening? That is
Yeah.
all the fun that comes in. Meditation helps a lot to calm the ego, or do something simpler like just go out, get away from the environment that you're usually in, or do something very basic like cook a meal that you have already cooked, like something you must be cooking every single day. Just do it with awareness, do it with consciousness, with joy. You'll get back on the track.
No, I think I understand. I think you're absolutely right. It's uh, the way I think the question I phrased was not right. I mean, you're right that life will kick in, and life में ऊपर नीचे तो होना ही चाहिए. Otherwise, it's gonna be like a boring, mundane, bloody life. That, oh my god, every day I'm just like happy and no, no, I understand. I think I'm of an opinion is that there has to be good and evil in a certain manner. Okay, it's should be balanced. That's the whole point. And we just need to, and those are good ideas that you can, meditation is definitely good. I think told you last time also, I am trying. It's pretty damn difficult for me, uh, probably because of the books uh, that I read so many. But yeah, going for a walk and not within the city, and it calms you down. And yes, cooking or doing something like these days, last 1.5 2 months I've started doing, I take my son's uh, you know those markers, color markers that we used to get in the childhood,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I start just coloring. So
It
coloring
is
calms
so
me down a lot.
healing. Yeah.
Exactly. And he's got these we get these sketches printed out of something flowers or animals or whatever, and he
Yeah.
sits and colors with his crayons, yeah, crayons, and I
Crayons.
sit with his crayons and I keep coloring. And 15 20 minutes and I'm like very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and I keep it so that I finish the whole coloring, so I don't just throw it away. So next time again, open it, color it, and then use it. But
Yeah,
that's that.
yeah, like also like, dance or do something that is physical, you know. So when you shake your body, that stuck up energies also leave your system. So
Yeah.
that is also something one can try.
Wow, interesting, interesting. And as always, we are almost nearing an hour.
Oh,
Uh, we'll again do a. So this is like the second episode with you, and a lot of discussions were pretty new from.
yeah, yeah,
I think we can again do another episode, probably 75th or something.
yeah,
By
sure.
then, you will have more and more data for us and more knowledge.
Yeah.
So, Shrantini, I want to ask you one common question. That. So, basically, do you think that sharing stories can actually create impact in people's life?
Yeah, we think in patterns, in we humans love a framing of a concept. Uh, so whenever, even like I said in engineering, I would people would talk about machines and I would humanize them. Like I would add feelings to those microprocessors. So yeah, what story does is create a pattern, a scenario in our mind, and that is what stays with us rather than plain random data. And there is no better way to teach oneself anything than making a story. And actual stories lived by people have a different kind of impact because they'll also explain the little details and the nuances of it.
True. Well said. Well said. And I'm just curious. So, just for everyone's information, you can connect with her on Instagram and or LinkedIn. The links are shared, and I'll just paste them again. So, I'm just curious to just 1 second. Let me paste that and then there you go. So what I know the Hindi meaning of Buddhu Jivi, but still I would like to understand from you and for our audiences what exactly what what made you think about this.
So, GB means being, and Buddhu means in Hindi is stupid. So when I was making this page and writing all of these ideas, it sometimes it used to get a little more complicated, and I wanted people to have fun with it. So I was like, we really need to take ourselves a little more lighter than so much of seriousness. So I said, let's say because buddhi in Hindi means smart and
Yeah.
buddhu means stupid. So, and Buddhi Jivi is a very common term in Hindi. So that is the
Hmm.
reason I started with Buddhu Jivi.
Interesting. I thought so, but I
Yeah.
just thought कि एक बार पूछ लेता हूँ maybe कहीं मेरा definition गलत ना हो. But interesting, interesting. So with that, we are towards the end of our another impactful episode. Now, connect with Shrantuni and on our Instagram page. I follow her, and there's a lot of videos that she actually keeps putting short ones, and which give this anecdotes of wisdom and knowledge that you can keep getting it. And there's one more message just came on time. Let me share that. It's from Harish. Thanks, Amit, sharing your stories. When I tried coloring with my 3 year son, he now started coloring all over the walls. that's that's lovely. You know what, Harish? You start coloring the walls as well. Rather, so that एक ही बारी painting हो जाएगा. Or leave it that way, it would really look beautiful. We are so hung up. I see this. The thought process in me is like when we see like me and my spouse, when we watch these funny videos where children go and paint the TV, and we see it and we like ah ha ha, we laugh. But the moment our child goes and does anything, we're like oh mat karna. So, and I keep telling us, me and her, is like, why are we like this? Probably humans are a little idiots.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but Harish, do that, paint the wall and keep one wall. Maybe Asian
And
Paints
send
will
us
do.
the picture.
Yes, send us the picture. Please do share it. Thanks, Harish, for sharing that. All right, so please connect with her. It's gonna be amazing. Connect with her. She's got some lovely articles and posts on LinkedIn as well. So, like I said, I follow all my guests very religiously, and few of them actually go ahead and inspire many, many, many things. So, connect with her if you want to know what she does, how she helps. If you want to connect with her to your school, your college, or your program, wherever it is, ping her so that she will get back to you and let you know. And yeah, you're welcome, Harish. And if you want to be on my show, or if you feel anyone wants to be on my show, just ping me, and I'll connect with you guys as well. So with that, Shantani, over to you for the last words to end the show.
I have said so much. I don't think I have anything left to say. Yeah, it was so nice talking to you, Amit. And I also, like, when the last time when we spoke, I was like, इस बार क्या नया बोलेंगे? What is something new that I can talk about this time? But your questions were so amazing. I was like, I don't even have to try. His questions are all different this time.
Yeah, and the best part is everyone knows that I don't write anything. So this is the fun. When you follow your your guests
Instinct.
as well, and instincts, of course. But when you follow them, you understand what they say, and then it's basically many things that I asked is just out of my head. Is like I want to be clear from my head,
Yeah,
and that's why
yeah,
I love when people ask questions on the guests as well. That it just makes it interactive.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I
Great.
that was the fun part of it.
Great, great. Thank you. Thank you very much. And with that, we end our episode number 69. And once again, Thank you, Shrantuni, and
Thank you, Amit.
God bless all the viewers.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.